Hey, hey, it's Wednesday night, and as always, great to be with everyone. It's been a busy week. I've done a bit of traveling. I'm back in Nashville tonight on March 30th, 2022, and we have a big storm coming into Nashville. So I'm going to get on here tonight, talk to you guys a little bit about maybe where our hearts are during this time of losing a great musician. And then I'm going to get off before the weather comes in and we could lose internet or so we'll probably hunker down. So anyway, I'm going to wait a few minutes like I normally stall here in the beginning to make sure that people are aware that I'm on, and I see some people coming in, and then I'll get to the topic. But it's starting to turn spring here in Nashville, and with spring comes some big storms, thunderstorms, like that. So we're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get on here and get off. But um, since the last time we were together, we lost as the world and the music community. We lost Taylor Hawkins. Uh, no doubt a great drummer, a great musician, from a great band, and who has played on other great stuff, Alanis Morissette, and many, many more things. Um, I'm not going to get in tonight to how he died. Um, let's not forget that he was a daddy, is still a daddy in these little girls' hearts. Um, he was a husband, he was a bandmate, he was a friend. So I'm not going to get into all that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he died. He's gone, and that sucks. There's no way around that. So no gossip here. Even though I'm a doctor, um, no medical evaluations here. I try to stay away from those things. It seems gossipy to me, and I don't know and I don't care. But I do want to talk about when we lose people like this. I remember a few years back when we lost Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, and it just felt so weird in the world to know that this guy had watched play so many games, um, that he was gone. And even though I wouldn't probably see him play any more games because he was retired, it's just you kind of have this weird relationship with people like this. You follow the career, you follow them, you follow their teams, you buy their jerseys, and it's a weird loss because you don't personally know them, but you've spent a lot of time being interested in what they do and how they do it. So I want to kind of bring this back tonight into a musical context. Um, we When I was in my early 20s, I lost the most important music figure in my life. Um, he was my hero that I idolized since I was 8 years old. He was the drummer for the band Toto, Jeff Porcaro. You've heard me talk about him before on the channel. He was not only the drummer for Toto, but he played for Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney and Lionel Richie and Boz Scaggs and Steely Dan and did I say Pink Floyd and Barbara Streisand and hit after hit after hit after hit. If you've heard any amount of songs from the 70s or 80s, you've heard his playing. You can look up his discography. You can look up his name on Wikipedia and see that he was a massive talent and had a massive career um, that ended at 38 years old, which is tragic. And I remember being upset then, all the rumors that were spread of how he died, and it was really upsetting. So that also helped me at a young age, at in my early 20s, to stay away from that crap. He was gone, and that was all there was to it. But it was an interesting and horrific feeling for me because um, in the year and year and a half prior to his death, he had befriended me. I'd found my way to him. I was living in Los Angeles, and I had found a way to befriend him and play him some cassettes of my drumming, and he took a shine to me, and he talked with me and helped me out and let me come to studios and watch him play drums and kind of took me under his wing and recommended me for some gigs and had me come down, was called me to come down to play at a famous jazz club in Los Angeles called the Baked Potato. And Steve Lukather was going to be playing that night, and Jeff was going to be playing. He was going to let me sit in a couple songs. Um, I think Nathan East was playing bass, and Greg Matheson was playing keyboards. And all you jazz and fusion guys know these players. These are all phenomenal session players too. Unfortunately, that never happened. The the night I was supposed to go sit in, he had a triple session that went late. It was on a Sunday, and he called me and said, "Hey man, I can't play tonight. Vinny Colaiuta's going to sit in for me, but we'll do it next time." And the next time never happened. I was supposed to go the next week and watch him at some Toto rehearsals and sit in with him the next time that he played at the Baked Potato, but unfortunately, none of that happened. He passed. But the interesting thing about that relationship was I had like a year and a half personal relationship with him, but from 9 years old to 22, I had another relationship with him that was that I'd spent so many intimate hours listening to his playing and copying his playing and listen to his approach and how he graced songs with his drums and where he would do certain fills and where he would stay out of the way of the vocal and where he placed the backbeat and where he placed his kick drum and I was just obsessed and wanted to approach music like he did in a and my heart beat with the beat and the finesse and the beat placement that he the way he played. And when you spend that much time not knowing a musician, but really feeling like you know him because you spent so many hours as a kid listening to him and other players and seeing their picture on record jackets and I didn't wear glasses, but I bought a big pair of sunglasses like he wore, and I knew that he wore vests and he had a black leather jacket and some of his um, pictures on the back of records, and I tried to dress like him, and it's a real influence, a huge influence, and it's in a very spiritual way because us as musicians, we get that way through their musicianship. And when he passed, it was it was that longing as much or more than my personal friendship with him because I'd had that relationship with him for so long, and then a personal friendship with him just for a year and a half. Of course, that hurt and devastated me, and in many ways, my musical life has never been the same because I've never got to hear him play something new or reinvent himself again um, after his 38th birthday. So I just thought it would be good to get on here tonight and just talk about how we feel as musicians when another influential musician like this passes. You know, I see Steven on here. He's mentioned, um, Freddie Mercury. The hours I spent listening to Queen records and Michael Jackson records, Neil Peart, Rush records, Eddie Van Halen. I feel like Eddie Van Halen was my personal friend from um, fifth grade and his whole life, even now, still, even after he's passed. These musicians have a real Charlie Watts. Thanks, JB. I'm gonna miss so many of these, so I apologize. I'm not in good shape to be. I mean, I'm fine, but it's a delicate topic, so I'm gonna forget about so many names that have just blessed my life and yours with their playing and their approach and their musicality and their being daring to do different things. And I think as a music community, this has such an influence on what we do and how we carry ourselves and how we approach music and how we strive to be as good as them. And I know in high school, a lot of this probably kept me out of a lot of trouble because, man, I was home studying how to play, how to read music, and how to play to a click track, and how these guys tune their drums, and the voicings that Freddie Mercury used in his background stacks, and how Charlie Watts would approach a beat. And it's thanks, JB. Tom Petty, my God. These guys are, so many snapshots of my life. These people's music was playing, and still is, So it's hard to talk to other people about this that aren't you guys, because we understand the loss. Of course, fans understand the loss, and family and all that, but it could be a really personal thing for us. And when Dave Grohl passed, I've spent so many hours listening to Foo Fighters and listening to mixes of their records and the incredible playing and the incredible songwriting, and how this guy basically was great enough to dethrone the greatest modern rock drummer there is in his own band, Dave Grohl, and be the drummer, and have somebody like Dave Grohl never worry about who was keeping time back there and who was pushing the band and who was driving the band. I mean, what an incredible musical compliment for Dave Grohl to say, "Man, it's your gig. I want you to be the drummer in my band." I mean, I'm sure to his dying day, I mean, obviously they had a close friendship too, but for Dave to hand that to Taylor, that must have been such an honor, to be able to be that guy. And I'm sure to Taylor's last breath, that will be one of his greatest achievements, to have someone like Dave Grohl say, "You're the man." But anyway, SRD, Dave Grohl didn't pass. Yeah, man, I know that. This is about Taylor Hawkins. If I misspoke that, I'm sorry. But this video is as much for me tonight as it is hopefully for you, to take in the moments of how blessed we are to have these incredible musicians and these incredible drummers and guitar players and singers in the space of life that we get to share the world with, that they're here at the same time we are. And it's a real, sorry, I've got to get somebody off here that's saying some ridiculous stuff. Sorry, guys. So anyway, if you see this idiot in the comments saying these things, I apologize. This stuff's supposed to be blocked. and it's sad that someone would do this. I'm trying to get rid of it as soon as they're saying it. Anyway, as a music community, I think we understand the loss, and I just want to talk about it with you guys because you understand it, and I understand it, and not everybody in our lives understand what it is to lose somebody that's so influential in a musical context. You know, people would say, "Well, you don't even know him." I mean, like, you know, but you do. But you know him. You know him in your heart. You know him in your musical soul. So, if you have, if you need an outlet, find another musician to talk about this because they will understand. And certainly in their life, they've had someone as well in their influential circles that has passed as well. It could be a personal musician, it could be a famous musician, it doesn't matter. We're so lucky that we share this musical bond between us um, with music, and the downside of that is it sucks when somebody like this leaves us at any time, too soon, or even if they've lived a full life and passed. It's awful. I mean, you know, people like George Harrison. It still sucks. Eddie Van Halen. Um, it's all difficult. So anyway, I never got to meet Taylor. Everybody says that he was full of life and a great guy, and it's nice to be on here and talk about him tonight and know that we can all go out and spread positivity about how he's touched our lives and how the Foo Fighters have touched our lives. And anyway, I want to get on here and talk to you as much as I hope that you want to hear it from me, just to get it out, because we as musicians, we understand. We understand. Some great comments tonight, and one jerk, but that's okay. So anyway, find somebody to talk to, or find a way to pray or meditate, whatever you do to remember someone who was so influential in the music community and to the world community. And we're lucky that we got to live in a span of time to enjoy his playing and his videos and his humor and his voice. Great voice. He obviously loved Queen. Who knows? Maybe he and Freddie and are having a good time wherever they're at tonight. And maybe Kurt Cobain too. But anyway, that's all I've got tonight. I'm going to sign off a little early. Thanks for hearing me out. Video coming out tomorrow, as always. Thank you guys for getting on here tonight, and thanks for always watching the channel and supporting the channel. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, Taylor Hawkins, for everything you were and everything that you will continue to be in your music every time we hear it. I'll see you guys later.